Welcome, folks. Thanks. And
hey, Kevin. Well,
it does indeed. Thanks, David. Let's take a look at our starters for Portland. Pairing up in the backcourt, Lillard and McCollum. Robert Covington out there with Derek Jones. And it's Nurkic in at the center, filling out the middle. And looking at the Nets, we've got Harden. Joe Harris is out there with Griffin. Then there's DeAndre Jordan. And it's Irving in at the 2. Now here's Harden. Jordan kicks to Griffin. Over Jones. Up again. And staying with the play, Irving.
A good decision maker. Look, he looks to make the right plays. Irving's contributions on the glass, they don't go unnoticed.
Lillard, the pass to McCollum. Some of the best in the game go at it here tonight, Chris. What an incredible guard matchup we have here in this one.
Oh, Kevin, there are some all-time greats playing at the guard spots these days. It will be a fun matchup to watch.
Now, here is Irving. Following the miss by C.J. McCollum. And there's Jordan putting it right back in.
One thing never changes in the NBA. Jordan will always be there among the top offensive rebounders in the league.
Nurkic finds McCollum. Portland moving the ball around. Irving with the steal. And here we go. Harden heading to the hoop. And the jam by Harden.
Great anticipation, quick hands. Who's saying Irving can't play defense?
And it's Lillard with the ball. He brings it up for the Trailblazers. 6-point game. First 1:30 gone here in the first quarter. McCollum kicks to Lillard. Shot clock at 6. Portland needs to get off a shot. And here's Covington from the arc.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession. And you look at Robert Covington, first team all-defense in 2018, the kind of versatile stopper that every team in the league could use.
And here are the Trailblazers now. After the basket by Brooklyn, knocks down the 3 ball.
You got to get out on Lillard. I mean, his long-distance shot, you know it's cash.
Harden dishes to Jordan. Irving surveying the floor. He kicks to Harden. Irving against Lillard. Shot is good off the back rim and in. Irving's got his second basket of the game. And Covington may be not a star, but he's a winning player. We've seen that.
And the perfect example of that 3-and-D role player. Can guard 4 or 5 positions and can definitely sling it from outside.
3-pointer, Lillard. Here's Nurkic. Can't get it to fall. Nets leading by 7. It's Harden with the drive. Drops in the layup for 2.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Lillard outside. Passes it to Covington. McCollum outside. Some solid defense there from Irving.
I love to see the defense exhibit some passion in protecting the rim right there.
Pulls up on the wing. Harden, no good.
The setup's good. That's the shot they're looking for, but you can't get them all to go.
Here's McCollum. He drains the quick shot.
And terrific floor awareness. I mean, it's obvious Covington has a great feel for when his teammates are wide open.
Harden the pass to Jordan. And here's Harden. The tray. Harden missing again. Trailblazers trail by 7. McCollum from deep 3-point land. It's good on the putback.
I love his work ethic, not to mention his hands. You need both to convert those tip-ins.
For Brooklyn, they've gone 6 of 10 from the field in this ballgame. Harden outside from deep. And the Nets miss again.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Jones kicks to Nurkic. Harris against Lillard. Here's Nurkic, and that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Still young with loads of upside. Nurkic is comfortable playing the enforcer. I mean, you can tell he wants to keep improving.
And a new group in for the Nets. Nicholas Claxton's checked in for Jordan. Green comes in for Blake Griffin. Bruce Brown is checked in for Harris. And Dinwiddie subbed in for James Harden. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Enes Kanter's checked in for McCollum. Collins comes in for Robert Covington. Carmelo Anthony's checked in for Jones. And it's Simons in for Damian Lillard. Here's Simons. And the last second attempt does not go in for him. And still a close game as the first quarter. And if you're just tuning in, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. And from Brooklyn guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
Well, in that first quarter, they were intent on just pounding the ball down low.
Old school approach. I mean, if you have a favorable matchup inside, just keep pounding it in there.
And now, brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. On the floor for Portland, Collins is out there with Anthony. Then there's C.J. McCollum. Then it's Enes Kanter. And it's Simons in at the 1 spot. Now, here's Dinwiddie. Pass to KD. To the paint. Here's Claxton. Takes the assist and lays it in. Pick out the pass nicely.
Now look, an assist like that gives Durant more hype than any other play he makes. He loves creating an easy bucket for a teammate.
The pass to Powell. And here's Kanter. Anthony right side. Pass to Simons. Puts it up. Anthony can't hit. And so it's Durant with it. He'll bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. And Green slams it in.
Oh, and the lead gets bigger on a ridiculous offensive sequence.
That dunk alone would have been spectacular. Never mind it coming at the end of an alley-oop. Here's Anthony after Jeff Green's bucket. Simons. Back to Anthony. And he uses the glass on the layup.
And love the muscle Anthony brings to the 3 spot. Takes pride in outworking everyone when he's that deep inside.
Now here's Dinwiddie. Still getting warmed up offensively. No scoring yet from him. Durant at the elbow. Goes up on the high post. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in. And the Nets lead by 7. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Anthony against Durant. Passes to Powell. The putback, a rebound by the Nets. In transition, here come the Nets. Here's Green, and 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact.
And the former Hoya Green, a rangy forward who can both score and defend from all areas of the floor.
Greg, you and I have talked about how the NBA Finals used to be tape delayed. What's the value of fans getting to see the broadcast live now as opposed to tape delayed as it was back in the 70s?
Isn't that weird to even think that that's the case?
I know it.
You know, I think, Kev, that the fans, they just feel more connected to their favorite teams, the end players. It creates more anxiety, right? Because nowadays, there's nothing that can happen that you don't know about it, whether you see it or not. So live sports, especially the NBA Finals, the anticipation, that anxiety that we talked about, man, I'm still a fan to this day in a different way. So I can only imagine when you have a personal vested interest in the team, what that's got to feel like.
Edge of your seat, you're right. The kick out to Brown. We've got 1:48 left to play here in the half. A shot by Harden, wide open. Offensive rebound. He shoots again from the arc. And it's Green missing. Trailblazers trail by 10. Jones in the post, guarded by Green. And he's going to get whistled for that foul, G. That was intentional, but not exactly logical.
How about pointless to foul there? I mean, I don't know where his head is, but it's not in the game.
And a new group out there on the floor for the Nets. And then for the Trailblazers, Nurkic checked in for Enes Kanter. Robert Covington comes in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's C.J. McCollum in for Anthony Simons.
Such a smart offensive player. When McCollum sees these shots open up, he doesn't think twice about firing.
Now here's Dinwiddie. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Outside Irving. Pass to Claxton. Nurkic against Irving. Here's Claxton. And terrific work on the offensive glass when he picks up 2. Claxton's got the lead up to 10 now for the Nets. Lillard outside. And Damian Lillard throws it down hard.
Oh, it's easy to forget about Lillard's hops. I mean, this guy has some sick dunks up his sleeve.
Now Dinwiddie. And Durant launches from deep. And no good on the last second attempt this time. And so it's the... Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you back here on our halftime show. Well, actually, we can't see you, but you can see us, but you get it. Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. You're watching the NBA on 2K Sports. It was a fast pace for Brooklyn at the outset. They strung together several impressive... That's all for now.
And happy you could join us. We've got 2 quarters left to go in regulation. One of the stories here, James Harden getting it done today.
No problems fighting his way to the rim in this one. A lot of points in close.
Yeah, slicing through the gaps in the defense. I mean, getting many of his buckets in the paint.
They've got Griffin. Irving is out there with Harden. Then it's Joe Harris. And it's Jordan in at the center. So that's the lineup for Brooklyn. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Nets will retain possession.
That's a good break. I mean, it's tough to connect on those long-distance passes.
Nets leading by 8.
Well, you look at the career that Dame Lillard has had so far. Taken 6th in the 2012 draft out of Weber State, a small school, but this guy became a franchise player immediately for the Blazers. Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flame.
Yeah, and that's what you love about him. He shows no mercy, even with a comfortable lead.
Here is Lillard. James Harden getting it to go from deep. Stolen by Harden. Here's Irving. And McCollum with the block. The drive by Nurkic. And there's a whistle. That's going to go on James Harden. That is his first foul of the game. And about a minute of action so far in the third quarter. Near the three-point line, it's McCollum. Busts the J after the cagey pass fake. And thinking of Lillard, the numbers over his career are incredible.
And Lillard found his strength as a shooter, and boy, did he exploit it. He's been averaging 20 points per game almost his entire career, and he's kept adding to his game as one of the elite players in our league. And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
It's good from long range. Lillard's got 8.
I tell you what, it's almost like stealing to watch how he plays the game from this seat.
Here is Harden. He's got 9. He dishes it to Irving. 5 on the clock. Brooklyn now working with a new shot clock. Jordan and DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
And that's what Jordan does best, an extremely lethal dunker.
Lillard with it. He's got 8. He feeds it to Covington.
Nice and steady so far in the second half. They're 3 for 4.
Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. And here's Harden. Outside for Griffin. His three-pointers off the mark. Trailblazers trail by 6. Here's Nurkic. Harden grabs the miss.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Irving's shot is good. 6 points for him.
Out in the open court, Irving's just too quick, too shifty to contain.
Lillard dishes to McCollum. Now here's Nurkic. McCollum passes to Lillard. And there's a whistle. That's going to go on James Harden. That's foul number 2 for him.
And Yusuf Nurkic, missing a whole calendar year not too long ago, was still involved with the team during that stretch and was a fixture on their bench.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Nurkic. Hey, bro, you had some wild shirts on the sideline. I couldn't even watch the game. You was over there dizzying cats up. But I know you were doing your thing, but he would use clothing to call out other players, teams, and commentators. Nurkic doesn't mince words, and I'm glad he's back in play.
Beyond the leaning, you could see his feet weren't set on that screen. Easy call.
Yeah, even a slight movement is going to catch a ref's eye. I mean, they're trained to focus on that.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Greg, you showed toughness and grit when you played. You've got to succeed in this league with those things at the forefront, right? Being tough, being gritty. And there are several players whose style you admire that play like it.
I mean, no doubt about it. You have the superstars, the Kawhis, the LeBrons, who continue to do it. They can intimidate you physically, but they also provide tremendous skill set. But 2 other guys, Russell Westbrook, Jimmy Butler, they're also guys that exemplify that toughness. 2 guys, when you look at those 2, a lot of people didn't project them to be what they've become, and it's impressive to watch them take the floor night in and night out.
Here's Simons. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. To the left side wing. Kicks it to Collins. No good that time. The Nets go the other way with it. They've led by as many as 11 points. Durant feeling it out a bit. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. That's on Enes Kanter.
And this is why Durant is a top talent. His ability to score even while getting fouled. An impressive athlete.
And Simons has got the ball here for the Portland Trailblazers. They trail by 6. The dish now to Carmelo. Lock at 6. Hits the jumper in space.
And Anthony, really one of the most confident jump shooters, an elite level scorer who gets plenty of opportunities.
Dinwiddie dishes to Durant. From deep three-point range, no good. And that's going to do it for the third quarter. Nets out in front. They lead. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And how about the floor generalship right here? I mean, showing us why they're always in good hands when he's the man in charge.
Great vision. He's a gifted passer. Has his finger on the pulse of this offense.
And with these teams locked in a very close contest, this fourth quarter promises to be a good one. On the floor for Portland, Hollis Jefferson is out there with Enes Kanter. Then it's Anthony. Then there's Norman Powell. And it's Simons in the point guard. Here's Powell. And he makes the bucket, gets the whistle, and now a 3. And yep, we thought we might see it. And the coach's challenge has been triggered on the personal foul call.
And I think when it comes to some of the more difficult calls to make, Personal fouls can be tough. The action is so fast that it's really tough to catch everything in real time.
The wonders of technology, Greg. We've seen replay reviews so effectively, and involving the coaches by being able now to challenge like this is something a lot of people have been hoping for. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands as it was made on the floor.
And, you know, even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you got to acknowledge the effort being put in to reviewing it. The double checking, and the game continues on.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
During that last break, Kevin, I got a chance to hear what Brooklyn's head coach said to the team. His concern was both their inconsistency and their amount of three-point shots. He said, let's move the ball for good shots. If you have an open three, take it. Otherwise, let's attack the rim and put some pressure on these guys. Kevin?
Here's Simons. Kevin Durant picking up that last basket. And here we go. Brooklyn fast break. And the shot goes in. Now it's a 5-point Nets lead.
Textbook. Nice pass. Great catch. Even better finish.
Simons surveying the D. And he dunks it down.
And he shows us all what the breakaway rim was invented for.
Can you believe he almost brought the whole thing down by hanging on that long? Now here's Dinwiddie. He kicks it to KD. That one falls coming off Dinwiddie's feet. KD's got 5 points now this quarter.
His individual effort has been outstanding tonight, and it's helped him grab the lead.
Cantor, the pass to Simons. Here's Powell. Lets it go with a three. Not going to go that time. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg? I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Nicholas Claxton. Joe Harris comes in for Kevin Durant. Irving's checked in for Luwawu Cabarro. And it's James Harden in for Dinwiddie. So for the Nets, DeAndre Jordan comes in for Green. And Durant subbed in for Blake Griffin. And we're around 2 minutes into the fourth quarter here. No good from Irving.
And I thought that was going to drop. It looked good from here.
And now they decide to foul intentionally.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Here's McCollum. Now Lillard. Here's Covington. Nurkic trying to get open. It's good, and the Brooklyn lead is cut down to just 4 points with a bucket from Covington.
That's how to make things look easy for a teammate. I mean, you make passes like that one from Lillard, crazy.
And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. And here's Harden for three. And again, no good by Brooklyn. Trailblazers trail by 4. Three-pointer, Lillard. They get it back. Great positioning on the putback.
Oh, big time putback there. What a great motor on this guy.
There is no one who goes after those rebounds harder. 1:58 left to play here in the fourth. Here's Harden, and that one clearly a foul. And here we go. A coach's challenge has been initiated. We'll have to now review the personal foul in question.
And this is the time now where the officials can review in closer detail what constituted the original personal foul. Getting a different angle can sometimes make it a lot easier to determine.
Greg, indeed, and the one thing with replay review is that when you see the slow motion replays, you really get a new appreciation for just the immense speed at which these players are moving and how fast the action really is and how hard it can be sometimes, you know, Greg, to make the right call. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands as it was made on the floor.
And, you know, even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you got to acknowledge the effort being put in to review it. They're double-checking, and the game continues on.
That's why you give Lillard the rock. When it's an important possession, you know he's going to rise to the occasion.
1:32 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Harden the pass to KD. And then Durant with the jam.
Durant wanted the ball in that situation, and he got it. Great killer instinct shown from him, and he gives his team a huge score.
Now here's Lillard. Trains it from beyond the arc. Lillard's got 5 points now this quarter.
He wants the ball. They want him to have the ball, and as usual, he comes through in the clutch.
Outside, KD. Six on the shot clock. And it's rebounded by Covington. And so it's Covington who brings up the ball for Portland. It's a one-point game. And the basket by McCollum.
And you can't get a bigger bucket than that.
That's why they put the ball in his hand. They know they can count on him to make crucial shots.
Now here's Harden. 30 seconds left to play in the final quarter. Money!
When the game is up in the air, Harden delivers. Easy to understand why he is seen as one of the best players in the league.
Here's Lillard. 15 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Beyond the arc. Can't get the three to fall. And an intentional foul right there.
Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let him dribble the game out.
He hits the first one, and that will put them up by 2.
And this spot has always been Jordan's biggest drawback. He's never been able to make his free throws at even a modest rate, and teams are never afraid to put him on the line. You're not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Stolen by Harden.
And the little cornerback there anticipates the pass.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll wrap. Our cameras caught the Clippers arriving at their building and coming through the tunnel with a lot of style and confidence. There it is, the Staples Center in Los Angeles, where we're getting set to bring you all of today's action. Welcome to 2K Sports for another edition of NBA basketball. With David Hey, Dave.
Good evening, Kevin.
What a story. David, thank you. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. We've got Irving. Griffin is out there with Joe Harris. Then it's Jordan, and it's Harden in at the 1. And for the Clippers, we've got Marcus Morris. Paul George is out there with Patrick Beverley. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins, and it's Ibaka in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Now Harden tries it from 9. And there's Jordan. That's good on the assist by Irving. And above the rim play, always captivating, Steve. We should see a lot of that tonight.
And Kevin, I'm so excited. You know, I played under the rim, so to get a chance to watch guys play well above, I am getting my popcorn ready.
Count that one.
At 6'8", Paul George is a threat in. side, looking very comfortable from in there.
Harden has a wide open look. No good with the triple.
Yeah, that old adage about being too wide open, not a thing. He just missed it.
And a bucket is right there.
The uncanny ability to time the tip in. He does this night in and night out.
Harden the pass to Irving. And he banks in the layup.
He gets to the rim at will. Kyrie, one of the most elusive players you'll ever see.
And as he gets deeper into his career, Serge Ibaka's shooting continues to improve. What a great job he's done of changing how he scores.
It's very impressive because a late bloomer Serge Ibaka has been on the offensive end. Let's look at last season, his highest point per game average, and he's in his 11th NBA season. And still has great efficiency on the offensive end, but sometimes he's overlooked as a scorer on this team.
5 to shoot. Shots good by Ibaka.
I love the patience Beverly has developed with the ball in his hands. Terrific find.
George against Harden, and George gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Just about 2 minutes into the game, first quarter of basketball. Pass to Harris. Just 5 to shoot, and Jordan has it in the corner. The Nets need to get a shot off here.
Beautiful contest there by one of the most tenacious defenders in the game, Patrick Beverly.
Here's George. Cousins dishes to Ibaka. Back to Cousins. Good ball movement here by the Clippers. And George gets it to go.
And I like to see this. They're calling his number early, and he's delivering.
It makes sense, right? You're trying to get off to a fast start, and he can help with that.
Harden with it. From deep. DeMarcus Cousins comes up with the rebound. Clippers leading by 5. Morris into the lane. And Ibaka kicks to Cousins. Here's Morris. Second chance shot. Inside, here's George. A good finish at the rack off the slick feed. George has got 7 points.
Just setting the tone with an aggressive move to the rack. And where's the help defensively?
No excuse. You have to be aware. He should be on your radar all the time.
Harden the pass to Jordan. Poke loose. Stolen by George. And here we go. Fast break. Beverly's got it. And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
A platoon swap here for the Clippers. And a switch here for Brooklyn. Jeff Green. He's checked in for Blake Griffin. 4 on the clock. Kennard for 3. Rebound by Jeff Green.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Here's Jordan. And again, it's the Nets missing. Clippers leading by 7. And finished off by Leonard.
And you see Kawhi's hustle in transition, always putting himself in position to succeed.
43 seconds left here in the first quarter. It's Harden with the drive, and Harden with the stuff.
And once he gets clear off the screen, there is no stopping him.
No, not when there's a flush waiting to happen.
That's a big-time move and a big-time finish.
Here's Zubac. The pass to Leonard. Back to Zubac. Pass to Leonard. The Clippers need to get off a shot. Jackson, that's a 2-pointer. Rebound, Brooklyn. Zubac kicks to Batum. And here's Kennard. Batum, good.
With a high basketball IQ and improving playmaking abilities, Luke's growing as a distributor.
And that does it for the first quarter. The Clippers on top, up 9. Recently, we spoke with Patrick Beverley about his throwback style.
Old school basketball. Yeah.
Now, pound for pound, Greg, Beverley may be the most physical player in the league.
And he also gets in your head. It's a combination that allows him to get stops against guys as big as Kevin Durant.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in a second. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Clippers?
You could see they were well prepared defensively coming into this one.
Yes, what they do, they take away the things that teams like to do offensively, also keeping them out of sync.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. Taking a look at Los Angeles. We've got Ibaka. Rajon Rondo is out there with Kennard. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's man in at the 3, the small forward. And Batum kicks to Kennard. On the wing, Jackson. Dinwiddie covering. Offensive rebound. Zubac the pass to Batum. Now here's Kennard. And Leonard has it in the corner. Pass to Kennard. Wants to get it to Zubac, and does. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark. Nets trail by 9. Here's Durant. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Defensively, you can't give Durant this kind of look and expect to get a stop.
Jackson dishes to Batum. Leonard looking around. Pass to Zubac. Kicks it out to Leonard. Another miss by Leonard.
This is the shot they wanted to get. Right guy, right spot, wrong result.
And the shot goes in. Durant's got 4 points now in the quarter.
That's easy money for KD. He's always had great touch from the mid-range.
Outside Jackson. Stolen by Durant. Oh, and a fast break for the Nets. Takes the 3. The shot, no good. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Leonard. And it's out of bounds. The Nets will take it the other way.
Boy, if you're the coach, you hate to see that kind of miscommunication between your guys.
Big group substitution here for the Clippers. DeMarcus Cousins is checked in for Zubac. Morris comes in for Nicholas Batum. Paul George, he's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Reggie Jackson. Here's Claxton. He's been quiet so far. Still no points in the game. And now the Clippers on the break. Morris with the ball. And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Zubac is checked in for Cousins. Batum comes in for Morris. Leonard, he's checked in for George. And it's Jackson in for Patrick Beverley. Here's Zubac. There's the feed to Batum. Now the pass to Kennard. 6 to shoot. Pass to Zubac. And again, it's the Clippers missing.
Can't fault the play call. Even though he couldn't convert, that's a good shot.
And Green is a critical role player for this team. His passing is really phenomenal.
Outside Jackson. And here in the second quarter of action as we approach 4 minutes played. Good ball movement here by the Clippers. Here's Leonard. That's good. And it's Jackson with the assist that time. And the Clippers lead by 5. Brooklyn's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Now here's Dinwiddie. Nothing yet on the scoreboard for him. Passes it to Green. Katie against Kennard. Right side, Kevin Durant. And too long on the shot. Los Angeles leading by 5. Kennard on the wing. Durant with the steal. Here's Dinwiddie. Whistle blows. Basket is good. So a chance here for a three-point play.
Moving it around. 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And it's a completely new group for Los Angeles. And a new group in for the Nets. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Nicholas Claxton. Griffin comes in for Green. Harris is checked in for Kevin Durant. And it's Kyrie Irving in for Luwawu. And George kicks to Ibaka. Over in the corner, Beverly. Shoots. And Serge Ibaka, the bucket on the assist by Beverly. Ibaka's got 6.
Terrific pass. That's the unselfishness you want to see. Beverly's all about the team.
Dinwiddie passes to Jordan. Back to Dinwiddie. 1 second left. The putback. He knocks it down, but wait a minute. The officials are getting together. They may want to review this one. And we are not going to halftime just yet. Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
We welcome you back. The Clippers have the edge here at halftime. They hold a 4-point lead. Kenny, what's your viewpoint? And
And in that first half, we saw a pretty tight battle. We'll soon find out what sort of adjustments were discussed during the half. Paul George really making a difference here.
Yeah, it's been a great performance from him. Really staying focused on quality shots.
And many of those quality shots have been jumpers. A very high percentage of those in the first half.
Setting the floor for the Nets. Harris is out there with Griffin. Then it's Kyrie Irving. Then it's Harden. And it's Jordan in at the 5 spot. Griffin with the steal. And now Irving pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And that one drops. Irving's got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Nets.
Out in transition, Kyrie finds his spot down the court. Finishes the job.
George passes to Cousins. Back to George. From past the arc. DeAndre Jordan grabs the miss. Brooklyn trailing. And now the fast break. Irving with the ball. That ties it up. And that's now 6 points for Kyrie Irving.
Any chance you get, you want to put yourself in a position to succeed, and that's what he did there.
Great job of reading the floor, got to the rim, and made a play.
Outside, George, clock at 6.
They have yet to hit a shot, a real slow start here in the second half.
In OKC, Paul George showed he could be an MVP caliber performer. With Kawhi on the Clippers, he could be that 1B or that 1A.
Now George, 7 points in the game. And it's Paul George with the finish.
Insane move by Paul George, a high flyer who can create in midair.
And PG, you know, he has the versatility to succeed in different roles. Doesn't have to dominate the ball.
Yes, and if anything, he's more comfortable scoring within the flow of the offense. With his all-around impact, doesn't need to force things to make winning plays. But if you need him to, he can.
And he's an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
He is, and he picks the simple one-hand stuff to get the 2 points. Nobody near George. And it's in after a nice bounce off the right side. George has got the game tied up here for the Clippers. Outside, Griffin. On the wing, Harris. And it's off from three-point range. And so Ibaka will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. 7-foot shot. No good from Cousins. The Nets have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. Pass to Irving. Back to Harden.
I like it. That's a great battle at the rim. He just couldn't finish.
And the power on that throw down.
And with those long strides, it takes Paul George no time to get to the rim.
In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Harden way outside. And the Nets miss again. Clippers have gone 3 of 7 on field goal attempts here in the second half. Beverly wide open. Nets the corner 3.
Timeout.
Now it's a 5-point Clipper lead.
Even though he's more the size of a point guard, Patrick Beverly's better off ball than initiating.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
The homecoming for Paul George, playing in LA with the Clippers. They gave up a king's ransom to OKC. 5 first-round picks and Danilo Gallinari and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
And a new group out there on the floor for the Nets. Dinwiddie surveying the floor. Here's Durant and finished off by KD.
You know, he's still slender, but KD's gotten a lot stronger. You have to wrap him up early. You can't let him get the shot off.
There's 53 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Jackson passes to Kennard. Down low. Fires the 3. And again, Los Angeles with the triple.
A crafty lefty with tons of range. You can't take your eyes off Luke Kennard defensively.
27 seconds left to play in the third. Dinwiddie up top. Shot clock at 6. Oh, and there's the alley-oop.
And I tell you what, they're doing their best to cut down the lead with some smart offense here in the second half. Shot selection much improved since the break.
Leonard with the ball. Over KD. Misses. It's still anybody's game as we've reached the end of 3. Clippers lead. Here now a chance to show you our assist of the game, and it's presented as always by State Farm.
And he may not be known as a pass-first guy playing out of the 2-guard spot, but he shows here that he can dole out an assist or 2 when he needs to.
Whatever the offense requires, that has to be your mindset. Always thinking team first.
We've reached the fourth quarter, and what has been a very competitive game should be an exciting finish. We've got Ibaka, Luke Kennard out there with Morris. That's Rajon Rondo, and it's man and it's shooting guard. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers. Dinwiddie finds KD, and that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That's foul number 2 for him. Durant down low. He's covered by Leonard. Here's Claxton. That's good, and a nice assist from Durant.
Very unselfish. Durant running the play all the way through. More than happy to facilitate.
There's the pass to Zubac. Back to Kennard. 6 on the shot clock. From deep. A rebound by the Nets.
You know what? They're winning, though, despite the fact that he has just been really off.
I'll tell you what, I think he thought that was going in. I sure did.
That one falls. And the Clippers lead by 3.
Hard to keep up with Reggie when he gets out in space. And on top of that, an excellent finisher.
Here now is Dinwiddie. Pass to KD. And then Durant with the jam.
Oh, An aggressive move and fantastic finish.
Trying to send a message with that slam, I think. Outside Jackson. And Nicholas Claxton gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him. And a new group in for the Nets. Blake Griffin, he's checked in for Nicholas Claxton. Joe Harris comes in for Kevin Durant. Kyrie Irving's checked in for Luwawu Cabarrot. And James Harden subbed in for Dinwiddie. Kawhi Leonard, he's checked in for the Clippers. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. Nicholas Claxton's checked in for Griffin. Durant comes in for Harris. Luwawu is checked in for Irving. And Dinwiddie subbed in for James Harden. Nets have gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. Durant to take the lead. Rebound by the Clippers. Cousins has got his 6th rebound on the night. And we have an intentional foul there, GA. Wish I could say why.
That one's pretty strange. I mean, no idea what got into his head right there.
Timeout called, the Nets. A platoon swap here for Brooklyn. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, I was able to listen in on what the Nets head coach was going over with his team. He said, this is what we play for, fellas. Let's knock them on their heels right out of the timeout. Show them how much you want it. Go get it. He really is fired up about this game.
Here's the lob for Harris. A shot missing.
And boy, have they been hitting the backboard in this game or what? Kind of surprising. It's such a tight game.
The power, the length, the ability to finish. Leonard dominant in that painted area.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Irving passes to Harden to tie it up. And the Nets miss again.
That is fantastic defense on one of the best three-point shooters.
And here we go with the coach's challenge. Not surprised in a competitive game like this. And he's disputing the personal foul call.
And I think when it comes to some of the more difficult calls to make, personal fouls can be tough. The action is so fast that it's really tough to catch everything in real time.
The wonders of technology, Greg. We've seen replay reviews so effectively, and involving the coaches by being able now to challenge like this is something a lot of people have been hoping for. And the announcement on the review is that the foul was called in error. So they have determined, Greg, to overrule the original call.
And guys, this is what it's all about, getting the call right. And I think in this case, the video review showed that while it was a tough call to make on the floor, they got it right with the review.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. They're down by 3. 1:41 left in the game. And now a moment to present the New Balance player of the game, Paul George.
And he's had a very good night shooting the basketball. A little over 50% from the field. And a lot of those shots have come against some tight D. That shows the level of his focus and consistency.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Ivica Zubac has checked in for DeMarcus Cousins. And Marcus Morris subbed in for Kawhi Leonard.
And a guy who's bounced around the league a little. Surprising, given that Morris is a solid shooter and a pretty good defender and rebounder.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
Nice job extending the lead and making this a 2-possession game now.
Harden against George. Harden outside. Trying to break that ice-cold streak. And the jam by Harden.
And this is what great players do. Harden understanding how to deliver in a big moment.
George looking over the floor. Launches a 3. That's that one through the hole. Make him now 7 of 13 in this game.
No moment is ever too big for Paul George. He remains confident in the clutch.
Harden outside. 46 seconds left in the fourth. And Griffin stays with it.
That's the kind of leadership you want from Blake Griffin, a guy who wants to take those big shots.
Basket here, and this game may be all over.
Yeah, but the main priority, Kevin, has to be taking care of the basketball and using the clock.
Morris outside. No good from outside. It's the Nets now. 4-point game. And on the way from Irving for three. The rebound by Ibaka. Here's Beverly. So it's the Clippers taking the win in a close one. It was up for grabs right until... All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony. And the player introductions are wrapped up. The starting. It's the NBA on 2T8.
Kevin, thanks very much.
Portland is indeed one of the great cities in the NBA. David, thank you. Here are the five for the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard is out there with Marcus Morris. Then it's Ibaka. Then it's Luke Kennard. And it's Beverly in at the point guard. And for the Trailblazers, they've got Jones. Nurkic is out there with Robert Covington. Then it's Damian Lillard. And it's Hollis Jefferson in at the small forward. Nurkic kicks to Lillard. Shot clock at 5. Covington, and Covington stays with it.
Oh, a nice tip in to salvage the points from that missed shot.
And those second chance points can add up. Now here's Beverly. Passes it to Leonard. Back to Beverly. Top of the key, Ibaka. The 17-footer goes down. Plenty of experience, Greg, on the floor tonight. How does that shape what we're about to see, do you think?
You know, Kevin, this is one of those games where guys are going to be smart out on the floor. They're going to be in the right positions to make plays. And honestly, this could come down to who makes the bigger, tougher shots.
And Nurkic does a great job just keeping the motor running.
Beverly, the pass to Leonard. And the rebound by Nurkic.
Yeah, better than giving up the layup. You want to go in there and use the hard foul. They did it there. That's aggressive attitude defensively.
Don't you love the chemistry? Those guys work so well together in the open floor.
And so here are the Clippers. The Blazers getting the bucket. Here's Leonard. And no good. So the Trailblazers will take it the other way. Covington passes to Nurkic. Hollis Jefferson kicks to Lillard. Back to Hollis Jefferson. To the middle. To the inside. Here's Nurkic. And good. Got the English that time as it falls. Nurkic has got his second bucket.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Leonard attacking. Shakes off the strong D and gets to the bucket for two.
And in a player empowerment era, no greater power move than Kawhi Leonard's last year. Fresh off a finals MVP with the Raptors, he signed with his hometown Clippers and compelled a trade for Paul George.
Think about that 14-month run where Kawhi Leonard made his way to Toronto, a team that was on the cusp for many seasons. Goes there, wins the MVP and a championship for the Raptors, and then ends up in his hometown of Los Angeles to try to do the same for the Clippers. Now that's getting it done and writing your own story.
Here's Beverly following the score by Damian Lillard. Pass to Kennard. There's the triple. Rebound by the Trailblazers. And here again, the Trailblazers in transition. Up the court they go. And finish off by Nurkic.
Changing ends quickly. He's rewarded with a high percentage look.
Yeah, the defense trying to do their best to slow him down, but when he gets room like that, you got to look out.
Now here is Ibaka. Back to Beverly. Good ball movement here by the Clippers. Tips it up. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points.
And you'd like to see more of this from Marcus. Attack that offensive glass and generate some points outside of those set plays.
Here's Jones. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. Nobody near Lillard. No good on the triple. Clippers trail by 6. Beverly with the ball. Lillard picks him up. And Beverly kicks to Morris. And he's going to get whistled for that foul, G. That was intentional, but not exactly logical.
How about pointless to foul there? I mean, I don't know where his head is, but it's not in the game.
Powell, he's checked in for Jones. With the shot. Rebounded by Jackson.
Yeah, one player sometimes can drag down your offense, and he seems to be an anchor here in this quarter.
And you want more of this from Jackson. The more unselfish he is, the better the team.
Lillard dishes to Powell. Back to Lillard. It's Powell on the wing. Lets it go from deep. Lillard misses.
He just doesn't look like himself this quarter. Something's missing.
Well, he's missing, and it's starting to affect a little bit in his body language, and you just don't want to see that.
17 seconds left to play here in the first. And here's George for 3. Collins grabs the miss. Powell, the pass to Cannon. Back to Powell. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That's his first foul. And here's McCollum for three. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Portland out in front, up 4. And if you're just joining us, we've played through one quarter in this one. And for Portland guys, what jumps out to you stat-wise?
Well, in that first quarter, they were intent on just pounding the ball down low.
Yeah, you don't see that all that often, getting down there and doing that much damage in a quarter. You got to respect the game plan.
They've got Enes Kanter. Collins is out there with Anthony. Then it's Jones. And it's Simons in at the point. That's the group on the floor for Portland.
Just feel like Patrick Beverley has incredible awareness for every second that he plays on the floor. Spots the wide open man, gets it to him.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
And Portland making a change here. McCollum's checked in. And a switch here also for the Clippers. Jackson's checked in for the finish. And Jackson throws it down hard.
It's easy to forget about Jackson's bunnies, but he's more than happy to remind you.
Jones against George. Back to McCollum. Trying to find Kanter. Gets it to him. And a missed layup.
I'm not going to see that very often. The defense in the vicinity, but still, he's not one to blow layups.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. Boy, your alma mater, UNLV, Greg, has produced some great NBA players over the years. I mean, so many great names.
No doubt about it. Listen, I got a special place in my heart for my former teammates Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon.
Right.
But also guys like Sean Marion. You go back to Reggie Diaz, who was a tremendous player. And right now in the league, you got Kim Birch, dunk champ Derrick Jones, and an up-and-comer in Christian Wood.
Good mentions. And that time, also a missed shot.
Well, that's a shot they want just about on every possession if they can get it. He doesn't make them all, but still very much a high percentage look.
The shot by George, no good.
And even without that three-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Like the execution there from Kanter. Usually likes to score, this time with the pass.
Now, here is George. He has 5. And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Clock at 6. Jackson from long range. They get it again. Zubac. Jackson passes to Mann. Puts up a 3. Collins grabs the miss. Portland trailing here. Here's Anthony. Banked in off the glass. Anthony's got his first points of the game.
Anthony still running the floor well, even at this stage in his career. Gets out and coasts right past the D.
After a promising rookie campaign, a lost year for Zach Collins, he played only 3 games before the injury took away the rest of his season.
Yeah, I mean, a strange year and a lost year for Collins. You could say that about the whole NBA for that regard. But Collins is underrated as a prospect outside of Portland. This team loves the energy and skill he brings to the table.
Here's Jackson after the made shot from Carmelo Anthony. Jackson passes to George. Now Zubac, stolen by Kanter. Jones kicks to Anthony. Kicks it out to Jones. Back to Anthony. 1:43 left here in the second. And that's a foul. It's called on Reggie Jackson. That'll be his second foul of the game. Norman Powell's checked in for the Trailblazers. 1:41 left in the first half. Collins dishes to Powell. And the dunk by Powell.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. And here's George for 3. That one no good. And the Trailblazers going the other way.
And the rebound battle split evenly thus far. And right now, they're just focused on putting together good possession.
That's exactly how they got the lead. They ended up having multiple possessions in a row with good quality shots, knocked them down, and the game is fully in their control.
George with the bucket.
And with those points, he puts an end to that 10-0 run by the Trailblazers.
Trailblazers leading by 5. McCollum outside. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Lots of ways that CJ can burn you right there. Super effective on the inside.
Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time taking the lid off.
Leonard the pass to Ibaka.
Those interior passes can be dangerous sometimes, but if the timing is good and you execute it there, you can get easy hoops.
Now McCollum. That's in. He's got 2 made now, and he's shooting 2 for 3.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Now, here's Kennard. He's still scoreless so far in this one. 17 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Powell finds McCollum. With 1 on the clock, and he got that one up in time, but doesn't go in. Thank you, David. We'll be back after halftime for the start of the second half momentarily.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. The first quarter for the Trailblazers was fairly even. They had a 4-point advantage at the end of the period. And that...
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. And so George will bring it up for the Clippers. Trailing by 4. Third quarter action getting rolling right now. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. Here's who's on the floor. And the Clippers, looking at who they've got. Patrick Beverly out there with Paul George. Then there's Batum. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's man in at the 3, a small forward. Here is Lillard after Paul George getting his 3 to go. Covington kicks to Lillard. Powell, no one around him. And he gets the friendly spin, and that one drops. Powell's got 6 points.
The game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding has been the one differentiator thus far.
The pass to man to the middle. Here's Zubac again, Los Angeles. Second half rolling along now. About a minute played here. Pass to Powell. To the paint. Nurkic the pass to Powell. Lillard outside. Just 5 on the clock. This one for 3. And with the rebound.
They've been able to have some team success in this game despite what's been an awful shooting night for them.
The 3 from George. Rebound by the Trailblazers.
And you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Lillard from outside. Covington with the bucket.
Lillard becoming better at staying patient, knowing that at any point in a possession, he can take advantage of somebody. That time he found the open man.
And so they foul intentionally. Simons, he's checked in for Norman Powell. Clippers with the ball. It's a 3-point game. Here's Leonard. Fouled in the act of shooting. Gets the bucket anyway, so a 3-point play chance for him.
Okay, good game plan. Start the second half. 3 of 4 so far from the field.
The Clippers shooting their 3rd free throw attempt of the game.
Yeah, and 79% from the line as a team a season ago. Pretty reliable in that regard.
Greg, I think of you in a New York Knicks uniform, legendary arena you played in. What was that experience like?
Kevin, intense. I remember the first time I suited up in a preseason game. We played the Dallas Mavericks. Both teams went up and down the court 3 times and nobody scored, and the fans started booing. And that's when I knew this is a little bit different. You better bring your A game.
And thicker skin, correct?
That too, yeah. Fortunately, there was no social media or internet back then. Goodness gracious. And those second chance points really become almost like bonus points when you can get them.
Here's Lillard. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. From deep three-point range, the Trailblazers with a new shot clock. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And the 3 off target.
Well, if he's going to keep shooting, they've got to run some plays for him. Screens, pick and rolls, anything they can do to get him started.
Basket counts.
A high percentage look there for Ibaka. He can be automatic in there when given room.
And Marcus Morris has raised some eyebrows in the last couple of years, just being a much more efficient scorer.
Now, here's Nurkic. 8 points for him. Stolen by Beverly. Lillard against Kennard. Morris. And a lot of contact on that. Folks, the coach's challenge has been initiated for a personal foul. Close game like this, and he thought it wasn't a good call.
And I think when it comes to some of the more difficult calls to make, personal fouls can be tough. The action is so fast that it's really tough to catch everything in real time.
The wonders of technology, Greg. We've seen replay reviews so effectively, and involving the coaches by being able now to challenge like this is something a lot of people have been hoping for. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands as it was made on the floor.
And, you know, even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you got to acknowledge the effort being put in to reviewing it. The double checking, and the game continues on.
Now here's Powell. He has 6. Lobs it up for Cantor, and Cantor throws it down.
And while not a huge leaper, Cantor does have enough length and athleticism to make a play like that simple.
Los Angeles has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Kennard against Powell. Kennard up top. He kicks to Beverly. Powell against Kennard. Beverly dishes to Ibaka. The shot, no good. Collins with some nice D. Poked away. Anthony, the pass to McCollum. Out to Anthony. The 3. That one doesn't drop. So the Clippers will take it the other way. And he's going to get whistled for that foul, G. That was intentional, but not exactly logical.
How about pointless to foul there? I mean, I don't know where his head is, but it's not in the game.
And the Clippers making a switch here. Man's checked in. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Out to Anthony. Cantor, the pass to McCollum. With the second effort, and Cantor with the lay-in. Good. Cantor's got 4 points in the quarter.
And it's not a secret. Cantor is a major factor on the offensive glass thanks to his size, strength, and excellent hand.
We're at the end of the third. And now let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter form.
Well, there's a way to break down the defense with the handle, but you can do it with the pass. Prime example of that right there.
Well, what a terrific game it's been so far, with this fourth quarter sure to bring more pressure-packed basketball. We've got Rondé Hollis-Jefferson. Anthony is out there with Nurkic. Then there's Derek Jones. And it's Simons in at the 1. That's the group on the floor for Portland. Here's Kennard after the Trailblazers pick up 2. Passes it to Mann. Inside. Lets it go from 14. Ibaka, no luck. And so it's Jones. He'll bring it up for Portland. They lead by 1. And they had their chances. 2 offensive rebounds, but they still come up empty. Here's Leonard. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
Well,
kind of fun when you see his personality come out in his game like that.
And the Trailblazers making a change here. Covington's checked in. Patrick Beverly, he's checked in for the Clippers.
They're doing a better job of working themselves to the line here in the second half.
Fourth quarter of basketball. We're about a minute into it. Here's Simons, covered by Morris. Simons, the pass to Covington. Hollis Jefferson in the post. Defended by Beverly. Here's Nurkic. Left side, Covington. And that one is good. Covington's got it all tied up now for Portland.
Yeah, 3 consecutive field goals have come right at the rim. The D had better start buckling now.
Pass to Kennard. From outside the arc, the Clippers keep it alive. Jacks up a 3. Nailed from three-point land. And the Clippers lead by 3.
Defensively, you can't back off him that much. And you don't want to give up easy threes at this stage of the game.
Nurkic, the pass to Simons. Now here's Hollis Jefferson. And too much time in the lane. They get called for the 3-second violation.
Yikes, that one stings there. Hurts so much more to turn the ball over, especially with how tight the game is.
So Portland ends up going with the new group. And the Clippers making a change here as well. George is checked in for Luke Kennard. Now here's Beverly. Here's Leonard. And Beverly kicks to Ibaka. Lets the 3 fly. It falls for his 5th field goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8.
I mean, could we say he was playing possum a bit there in the first half? Because it seems to be a different guy out there, way more assertive.
Down low, here's Cantor. Kicks it out to Lillard. Back to Cantor. And the layup is good after a nice lead pass.
And as a coachable guy with a very positive attitude, Cantor has to be feeling good on that shot.
1:58 left in the fourth quarter. George looking over the floor. And the pass to Beverly. Back to George. Shoots over Powell. And Cantor pulls it down. Cantor's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight. Lillard against Ibaka. Counting.
And that is what you need in big moments. Lillard's a strong leader with competitive drive. Bingo.
Fourth quarter of play, and over 3.5 minutes have gone by. George, no good. The Trailblazers have gone 4 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Collins passes to Cantor, and he hits it to tie the game up.
Well, he's made some big shots dating back to his playing days in Europe. Cantor coming through here in the clutch.
George dishes to Leonard. And that's an intentional foul for the Trailblazers. Nurkic checked in for Collins. Rondé Hollis Jefferson comes in for Anthony. And Jones subbed in for Norman Powell. And then for the Clippers, Zubac is checked in for Ibaka. And it's Batum in for Morris. And again, it's the Clippers missing.
Well, even though he misses that one, the defense has got to talk about that. And that's a bad miscue. And you can't give up looks like that all game long.
Controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Great at using his body and finding his feet in positions on the boards where he can get up, get to it, get an extra possession.
And here's George for 3. Los Angeles with another miss. And Portland with the ball. It's been 8 unanswered points for him. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game. Buries it from outside.
Well, he has that ability, elevates his game in the clutch time. It's Lillard time. He's on point.
From deep, George kept alive. Second shot opportunity. And Batum kicks to Beverly. And the rebound by Nurkic. Here's Hollis Jefferson. He dishes it to Lillard. From deep. Misses the shot. So the Trailblazers win it. It was a fantastic ball game, and they did a great job making. live on 2K Sports, bringing you the NBA. Hello, everyone, with Chris Webb. Here are the starters for Brooklyn. DeAndre Jordan is out there with Griffin. Then there's Irving. Then it's Harden, and it's Harris, and at the three, the small forward. And for Portland, Robert Covington out there with Nurkic. Then it's Damian Lillard. Then there's Norman Powell, and it's Jones in at the shooting guard position. Harden the pass to Harris. Outside Irving. He kicks it to Harden. Takes a three. Yes, and it's Irving picking up the assist.
He's so dangerous from out there. Harden can beat you off the catch, beat you off the bounce, beat you in transition, beat you when you sleep, beat you when you wake. He can beat you.
Here's Lillard. Griffin with the steal. In transition, here come the Nets. And DeAndre Jordan throws it down.
And that's a big reason why Jordan's field goal percentage is always so high, because most of his finishes come right at the rim.
Pass to Jones. It's Powell on the wing. It's hauled in by Harris.
He's as surprised as anyone with that miss. When he's left alone.
Whoa, what a finish!
Run that back. I want to see the replay now.
I mean, come on, man. Harden is ridiculously clever, including how he decides to posterize you. A superb athlete.
The Nets have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for them to start off this game. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Harden outside. From deep three-point range. Offensive rebound. Tries again. He lays it in. Harden's got 7 points in the game.
A really smart opening quarter for them at the offensive end. Moving, finding good shots. They're 4 for 5 from the field.
And a deep 3 from Lillard. The long-distance 3 is buried.
The remarkable range of Lillard. I mean, you see these shots he makes from distance with ease, effortless moves.
And last season, Lillard doing more playmaking than prior years, a career high in assists for him.
Well, we all know that Dame can score whenever he wants to. This team is better when he's setting others up. Lillard knows that. I expect him to continue to spread the ball around.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Here's Lillard. That's basket number 2 with his 3rd shot off to a fast 2 for 3.
And the D has got to do a better job clogging up routes to the rim. Lillard is a terror when it comes to driving inside.
Harden the pass to Irving. Shot clock at 6. Hands it from downtown. He's got 5.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Trailblazers trail by 9. Lillard outside. It's stolen by Harris. Oh, and a fast break for the Nets. Here's Harden. The putback. It's good on the putback.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Nobody near Lillard. And again, it's the Trailblazers from deep.
He must have had a good warm-up because he's hot. He's 3 for 4 already, and we're only getting started.
We've got 1:23 left in the first quarter of the game. Pass to Irving. Shot clock at 5. For 3, Harris. It's hauled in by the Trailblazers. Fast break. Here come the Trailblazers. Lillard from outside. The rebound by Harden. And it's Harden with the ball for the Nets. They're leading by 8. Irving, good.
And they have owned the paint so far, and the score reflects it.
Well, you think defensively that you're trying to pack in the lane. I mean, but that opens up some opportunities for their shooters.
Jones dishes to Powell. And there it is for him.
He's so aggressive at that end of the floor, and that's a quality all great scorers have.
36 seconds left in the first quarter. Harden outside. There's the 3. Second chance effort, and Jordan with the layup. Jordan's got 6.
I like their focus coming in. Terrific execution so far.
Going for the juggler right off the bat. I mean, jumping out to an impressive early lead.
Back to Powell. 3-pointer. Jordan with the rebound. Outside Irving. Oh, Griffin in position, and Griffin slams it in.
And the chemistry Griffin has with his teammates, he's so good at realizing when to jump for the alley-oop.
And so it's Brooklyn, enjoying a 12-point lead as they talk things over during the break. They've got their field goal percentage to thank for that. They've been hot from all over the floor tonight. And before the game, we talked to Damian Lillard. You know, Greg, he is still as competitive as they come. Here's what he had to say.
I don't fear nobody.
And if Lillard's proved anything to us, Greg, in his career, you know he loves a challenge.
One of the premier big shot makers in this game. I don't know if there's anyone you'd rather give the ball to in crunch time.
And welcome back to the second quarter of action. Plenty of basketball left to play, but this one has been one-sided so far. And the Nets have been rolling right along here, haven't they?
Well, in that first quarter, they were intent on just pounding the ball down low.
Old school approach. I mean, if you have a favorable matchup inside, just keep pounding it in there.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor. All fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So for Brooklyn now, we've got Brown. Green is out there with Jordan. Then it's Kyrie Irving, and it's Dinwiddie in at the 2 spot. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jeff Green. That's his first foul. Greg, we know the names of the superstars, but there are players that are just under that category who probably should get a little more recognition.
Hey, Kevin, that's a great point, and I'm going to toot my alma mater's horn a little bit. Christian Wood's a guy that kind of reminds me of that. He's kind of on the come up. How about Devontae Graham, the second rounder back in 2018, but he's showing to be an established young talent in this league, and there are many more guys like that, and they're going to have their opportunity to become household names.
The shot by KD, no good. Trailblazers trail by 12. He lobs it up, and it's Hollis Jefferson with the jam.
Great court awareness from the crafty guard McCollum. I mean, a good teammate who likes hitting his open guys.
Dinwiddie surveying the floor. Pass to Durant. Fires from deep. And Cancer pulls it down. Trailblazers have gone 1 of 3 to start out the second quarter. They get the rebound. Collins kicks to Anthony. That one wide left. Brooklyn leading by 10. And it's Durant missing.
Man, when the ball's in his hands, that's as high percentage as it gets. It's just a fluke miss.
Here's McCollum. Good on the shot, and that shaves the lead to single digits.
Ooh, what body control from McCollum. This guy's just a scorer. He takes on all comers.
Dinwiddie outside. Taken away by Anthony. And now here comes Collins leading the break. The 11-footer out to Anthony. And a wide open look for McCollum. Rebound, Brooklyn.
This quarter has been hit or miss for him. Mostly miss.
Got a piece of it. Stolen by Collins. An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg, I'm not sure.
It's a scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
Catching up on the changes for Portland. Simons, he's checked in for Hollis Jefferson, and Lillard subbed in for C.J. McCollum. And then for Brooklyn, Brown comes in for Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving subbed in for Luwawu. Trailblazers trail by 8. Simons, the pass to Canner. Another shot. That one's not going to go. So Brooklyn will take it the other way. And there's the pass to Claxton. Here's Irving. He has 7. Trying to end the drought. Pass to Claxton. On the clock. Brown kicks to Dinwiddie. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And the Nets lead by 10.
When you allow good scorers to get uncontested shots at the rim, no wonder you're losing.
Yeah. Horrible effort. It appears they may be on the brink of giving up.
And that one's good. Lillard.
Well, talking about Lillard, he's so good as a scorer in the paint. I mean, he's probably just as good as any point guard.
1:03 left in the second quarter. Now here's Irving. He makes another one. That's 4 up and 4 in to start his game.
Irving does a solid job maintaining his balance, even with the D being all over him. Impressive athleticism.
Lillard way outside from beyond the arc and then some. Lillard's got 13 points.
He's doing some good work from long range. I mean, he had 2 threes in the first quarter, and now he's got 1 in the second.
Pass to Claxton. to the inside. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Yeah, good job to take it right at the net.
The Nets shooting their first free throws of the game. The first one falls. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Jusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Enes Kanter. Robert Covington comes in for Zach Collins. Now he's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And it's Derek Jones in for Anthony Simons. And then for Brooklyn, Griffin's checked in for Green. Harris comes in for Brown. And it's James Harden in for Dinwiddie. Now Harden, he has 7. From deep. The shot will not fall. And so it's Brooklyn with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. Thank you, David, and we'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you back here on our... It's Brooklyn out in front at the half. They have the 6-point lead. Kenny, how'd you feel about it?
Oh, whenever...
And...
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. We're seeing a tremendous game from Damian Lillard.
He's done a fantastic job of finding open space to operate within the first few quarters.
Yeah, the offense looks crisp, and guys are hitting their shots.
Norman Powell is out there with Robert Covington. Then there's Jusuf Nurkic. Then there's Derek Jones. And it's Lillard in at the point. That's the group on the floor for Portland. Harden dishes to Irving. Harden outside. Shoots the 3. He doesn't hit that one. And the Trailblazers going the other way. Here's Lillard. And he gets it to go. Hitting off the back of the rim. Lillard's got 15 points.
Yeah, they've had assists now in their last 3 baskets.
Harden outside. And it goes down 2 points. He's got 9.
This is what great size in the backcourt gives you, the ability to equally challenge the defense on all 3 levels. Harden is incredible.
Here's Jones, and we have an intentional foul there, GA. Wish I could say why.
That one's pretty strange. I mean, no idea what got into his head right there.
Lillard from deep three-point land. Rebounded by the Nets. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. And Griffin, here we go. And he's fouled pretty hard on that. And here we go with the coach's challenge. Not surprised in a competitive game like this. And he's disputing the personal foul call.
And this is the time now where the officials can review in closer detail what constituted the original personal foul. Getting a different angle can sometimes make it a lot easier to determine.
Greg, indeed, and the one thing with replay review is that when you see the slow motion replays, you really get a new appreciation for just the immense speed at which these players are moving and how fast the action really is and how hard it can be sometimes, Greg, to make the right call. And the announcement on the review is that the foul was called in error. So they have determined, Greg, to overrule the original call.
And guys, this is what it's all about, getting the call right. And I think in this case, the video review showed that while it was a tough call to make on the floor, they got it right with the review.
Nets leading by 4. And now the fast break. Irving with the ball. Yep, it counts. And 11 points for Kyrie Irving.
They have ridden him today, and it has paid off in a big way.
Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure. And that was a little bit of a range check for him.
Trying to take advantage of that extra space on the perimeter. We see a lot of this now.
Excellent box out there, keeping himself between the man and the basket.
Feeds to Lillard. Passes to Jones. And then jammed down as it goes right over Blake Griffin.
I like to see this little patient reading the D. He finds the open man.
And here's Harden. 9 points in the game so far. From downtown, score the basket, his 5th of the game. He's missed 6 shots against those 5 makes.
A good look there, and he didn't waste it. His second 3 of the game.
Lillard from deep three-point land, and it's Norman Powell with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Enes Kanter's checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. Anthony comes in for Robert Covington. Andre Hollis-Jefferson, he's checked in for Norman Powell. And McCollum subbed in for Damian Lillard. Dinwiddie finds Durant. And Kanter pulls it down.
And the well is running dry for him right now. Nothing falling.
Yeah, he's just in a rough patch. He's trying to climb out of it, but it hasn't been successful.
Attacking in transition, the most consistent way to generate easy looks.
Yeah, you can tell they love to get out and run when the opportunity is there.
Dinwiddie passes to Durant. 50 seconds left in the third. And the jam by Kevin Durant.
Durant dunks the ball. It's such an effortless lift. He just goes up and throws it down like it's nothing.
Cullen passes to Hollis-Jefferson. And the pass to Kanter. He dishes it to McCollum. For 3. No good. Shot missing. The Nets go the other way with it. Claxton the pass to Dinwiddie. Fires for 3. Kevin Durant can't get that one to fall.
His scoring has not been there at all tonight. It tells you a lot about their team that
And yep, we thought we might see it. And the coach's challenge has been triggered on the personal foul call.
And this is the time now where the officials can review in closer detail what constituted the original personal foul. Getting a different angle can sometimes make it a lot easier to determine.
Greg, indeed, and the one thing with replay review is that when you see the slow motion replays, you really get a new appreciation for just the immense speed at which these players are moving and how fast the action really is and how hard it can be sometimes, you know, Greg, to make the right call. And so it's the Brooklyn Nets. And this is it. Glad to have you along for this 4th and final quarter. Nets leading by 8. On the court for the Nets, getting the 4th quarter going. We've got Green, Harden out there with Brown. Then there's DeAndre Jordan. And it's Harris in at the 3 slot. Lobs it up for Jordan. An emphatic alley-oop jam.
And any lob to Jordan is about as sure a thing as you can get. So athletic for a big with tremendous hands, and big fella knows how to get in prime position for those alley-oop feeds.
Simons, the pass to Anthony. He lobs up the alley-oop pass.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
And so it's Harden bringing it up for the Nets. 60 seconds off the clock here in the 4th. Brown against Powell. Brown dishes to Green. 6 to shoot. Pass to Harden. And it's good for 2.
So aggressive on the offensive end. I mean, Harden, he's consistent at finding his shot.
And he's going to get whistled for that foul, G. That was intentional, but not exactly logical.
How about pointless to foul there? I mean, I don't know where his head is, but it's not in the game.
Here's what Portland's going with right now. Enes Kanter's checked in for Nurkic. Zach Collins comes in for Robert Covington. Jones checked in for Carmelo Anthony. And Damian Lillard is subbed in for Anthony Simon. Timeout called the Nets.
Adjustments are a part of the game, and the coach sees something he doesn't like here.
Yeah, I like the chess match that's going on here. Each team trying to find and exploit the favorable matchup on the floor.
A different look now for Portland. Giles checked in for Zach Collins. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson comes in for Norman Powell, and it's C.J. McCollum in for Jones. And a new group in for the Nets. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Nicholas Claxton. Griffin comes in for Green. Irving's checked in for Luwawu Cabarro. And James Harden subbed in for Dinwiddie. Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to listen in on what the Nets head coach was going over with his team. He said, this is where mistakes can kill us. This is where mistakes can turn this thing completely around. Protect the basketball and make the simple play. In other words, guys, no hero ball right now.
Here's KD, and then Durant with the jam.
And he wanted everybody in the building to feel that ferocity.
And we did. Yeah. And we felt it. Even over here, we felt it. McCollum against Irving. Giles kicks to Lillard. They get it back. He hangs in there and cashes in on their second chance points.
Just in a perfect position to grab that rebound and then get the putback.
A little over 2.5 minutes have passed here in the fourth quarter. Harden with it. A three ball. Let's keep it alive. Jordan outside for Durant. Here is Harden. From deep three-point range. Outside for KD. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. And here we go. Trailblazers with a fast break. And the basket by McCollum.
Yeah, and the blinding quickness right there on display for McCollum. He excels at leaking out and capitalizing in the open floor.
Harden outside. Outside Durant. Fires top of the key. And off the left side of the rim, and it swirls in for him. KD's got 4 points this quarter. Trailblazers trail by 10. Lillard way outside. Rebound, Brooklyn. Jordan's got 9 rebounds in the game. Getting it done.
And now as the clock ticks down, this is going to end up as a solid victory here for the Nets.
And they had to battle for this win. There were times when it looked like it was maybe slipping away a bit, but they never let that happen, which I thought was a real credit to them.
And that's a product of their mental toughness. Anytime the floor of the game turned against them, instead of caving, they just dialed it up a notch and were able to pull away.
And guys, one of the steady and outstanding players putting in another impressive performance. It was a big-time outing for James Harden.
He was the alpha dog out there tonight. Totally in charge of this game. No matter what the situation was, he was the one to dictate the action.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Nicholas Claxton's checked in for Jordan. Green comes in for Blake Griffin. Kevin Durant's checked in for Harris. And Luwawu subbed in for Irving. Durant feeling it out a bit. Pass to Harden. The three. And again, no good by Brooklyn.
I think it's safe to call this one a wrap.
Yeah, the game got away from them, but hopefully they've learned some things, and hopefully they'll be able to make some adjustments next time.
Well, this one is winding down now. Brooklyn can watch the clock run out. And there's the call on Jones. That's his third foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. Gets the first. That stretches their lead to 8.
Well, look, I love how Harden does a little bit of everything. Aggressive scorer, solid rebounder, superb passer, and he's also improving on the defensive end. With a chance to ice the game, he's got perfect focus at the line. Now, you could put this one in the books.
Giants, great positioning on the putback.
You know, we talk about it all the time, guys. Those second chance buckets, always the result of that extra effort.
And so it's Brooklyn with the... David, thank you as always. Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. And in the locker room, each guy has been going over and through his own routine to get ready. But once they take the floor, here are the starters for Los Angeles. Paul George is out there with Patrick Beverly. Then it's Marcus Morris. Then there's DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Ibaka in at the pivot, manning the middle. And for Brooklyn, Harden out there with Kyrie Irving. Then it's Jordan. Then there's Harris. And it's Claxton in at the force line. Harden against George. Harden dishes to Irving. Over Beverly. That one rolling around and rims out. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. And Beverly kicks to Ibaka. Off target from three-point range.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
The pass to Harris. And stolen by Cousins. Morris outside. The shot's good on the assist by George.
Yes, and how about the unselfishness? Paul George has no problem sharing the ball.
And about a minute gone here in the first quarter. Here's Harden. One up, one down. 2 points with his first shot this game.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
And here's George. Pass to Ibaka. Too long in the paint. He's hit with a 3-second violation. And he'll be shooting his first free throw of the game here.
And just 72% from the line a season ago. Not the greatest of numbers, but there are guys who are far worse off when it comes to free throw shooting.
And so he hits the technical free throw. Irving against George. Just 5 to shoot. Kicks to Cousins. Fires the 3. It's hauled in by Claxton. And here's Brooklyn. Pops it up for Jordan. Stolen by George. And pushing it up. Here's Los Angeles. And Ibaka slams it in.
Hey, it's one thing to have the physical attributes, the length, the athleticism, to play good defense. But the other part of it is the instincts. And George thinks and feels things defensively as well as anybody in the league. And really excellent instincts at that end of the floor.
Claxton the pass to Irving. Clock at 6. Over Beverly. And the rejection by Cousins.
Well, I love when Cousins uses his reach and strength to stymie shooters. Nice positioning on defense there.
I love the determination he showed there, getting himself into good position under the glass.
With the presence of mind to know just where the rebound was going to come down. Well timed.
And then the nifty touch to tip it in as well.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
And they just can't seem to get going offensively.
And I think this timeout, guys, is where you draw up some plays that are guaranteed to create some high percentage shots.
Jeff Green is checked in for Nicholas Claxton. And a switch here also for the Clippers. Mann's checked in. The Nets have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. And they go to the intentional foul. Greg, you and I talk about the big man, his role in the current NBA, and how they can possibly carry the standard for the great centers before them. You played with the great one in Patrick Ewing, so you have a great appreciation, I would think, for.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I think two guys kind of separated themselves a little bit. Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid, I think, are the two guys that stand out for me because of their ability, in essence, to do everything well. They can shoot it, they pass it, they can shoot it from the free throw line, they give you rim protection. I throw Rudy Gobert up there as an elite center as well. Doesn't have the offensive impact that those guys have, but he does impact the game as well.
3 young, dynamic centers. Those are good names. Beverly, the pass to George. Wow, that was a strong dunk.
And you know what? But for me, these dunks show exactly how great an athlete George is. I mean, sometimes you're surprised that the basket doesn't come down with the force he punches it with.
Here's Harris. No points in the game yet for him. 4 on the shot clock. And the rejection by Ibaka.
The size, the timing of Ibaka, tailor-made for protecting the rim.
And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. And so Ibaka will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. George against Harden. George with the ball. Pass to Beverly. Los Angeles needs to get off a shot here. Cousins, no good.
Tell you what, that is a missed opportunity from mid-range for sure. With as little defense as was shown, should have made that one.
Great teamwork, punctuated by a strong finish.
That is the perfect fast break, guys. Getting a hoop before the defense can get set.
Back to George. 3-pointer. And the 3-ball is good. George has got 5 points so far.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this league.
Quality looks they're getting, and they're they're capitalizing on them, guys. They have to be happy with this start offensively.
The Nets shooting their first free throws of this.
In the season ago, they hit about 75% of their free throws.
Boy, what a journey it's been for Irvin. An all-star, a champion. He's played on the U.S. national team. Even did a little acting along the way.
And at the line, it's all about consistency with him. His routine, his stroke, it never wavers.
Outside Leonard. Passes it to Kennard. 2 free throws coming. And here we go. Coach's challenge happening right now. This one in regards to the personal foul. Seeing if that was the right call.
And this is the time now where the officials can review in closer detail what constituted the original personal foul. Getting a different angle can sometimes make it a lot easier to determine.
Greg, indeed, and the one thing with replay review is that when you see the slow motion replay, you really get a new appreciation for just the immense speed at which these players are moving and how fast the action really is and how hard it can be sometimes, you know, Greg, to make the right call. And so the word is in. They've decided that the call stands as it was made on the floor.
And, you know, even if a coach still feels this wasn't the right call, you got to acknowledge the effort being put in to reviewing it. The double checking, and the game continues on.
And indeed, they're going to look at it again. They need to be certain he beat the buzzer.
And the NBA Replay Center in Secaucus is...
And we reached the end of the first quarter. The Clippers on top, leading by 5. 2K Sports back in a moment here in Brooklyn. And for those of you just tuning in, the second quarter of action is where we're at right now. And what's your take, guys, in the hustle stats for the Clippers?
Boy, they've really amped up the pressure at the defensive end, guys, and have piled up the steals in the early going.
Yeah, the other thing, though, is they have attacked in the open floor. They're definitely getting a lot of easy ones that way.
Setting the floor for the Clippers. Baca is out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then there's Reggie Jackson. Then it's Luke Kennard. And it's man in at the small forward position. And so they choose to intentionally foul.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation.
Leonard with the steal. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
Love the unselfishness of Beverly. I mean, when he sees his teammate wide open, he quickly gets him the ball.
Al Harden. Dinwiddie outside. He kicks it to Griffin. Here in the second quarter with a little over a minute gone. Misses the layup. He had him with that bump fake. And we have an intentional foul there, GA. Wish I could say why.
That one's pretty strange. I mean, no idea what got into his head right there.
Looking at who's out there now for the Nets. Kevin Durant comes in for Bruce Brown. And Luwawu subbed in for James Harden. Reggie Jackson's checked in for the Clippers.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Boy, Greg, there is a lot to like offensively for Luke Kennard.
I tell you, he can shoot it. He's a crafty finisher and really improving as a passer. The question mark is the defensive end. 6'5" in height and wingspan, not elite tool, so he's got to get by on his instincts and his anticipation.
On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Kevin, thank you. Now, we have seen continued growth with the NBA's affiliated leagues the last few years. Think about the explosion in popularity of the WNBA, the Basketball Africa League, expansion of the 2K League, greater pay in the WNBA and the G League pathway, along with the unionization of G League players. The league continues to show its commitment to expanding opportunities on multiple levels. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, David. And Leonard gets it to go.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Dinwiddie surveying the floor. In the corner, it's Griffin. And again, no good by Brooklyn. On offense, here are the Clippers. They've scored 10 straight. The shot goes in. First of the night. He's 1 for 3 to start the game.
It was all about his athleticism when Griffin first came into the league, but it didn't take long to see he was about a lot more than that. He's got serious skills down low.
There's the pass to Kennard.
2 minutes.
From deep. Outside Leonard. Zubac finds Kennard. That shot wide open. And the Clippers lead by 15.
And usually teams go on runs, and it comes from a lot of layups and dunks, but not now.
Timeout called, the Nets. You know, Greg, when you were in New York, you were on a super team of sorts. Compare that to the super teams they are forming now in the NBA.
Oh, we've always had super teams. And this misnomer that this is something that's just come about with this era is, to me, absurd. You've always had it. Whether the difference nowadays is I think the players have more say in where they go. And they can orchestrate how a team is constructed. But it's always existed. And the reality is this. You become a super team when you win a lot.
Sure.
And that's what really dictates how super your team is.
A platoon swap here for Brooklyn. We've got 1:48 left to play in the first half. Harden against George. And out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession. There's 1:38 left to play here in the second quarter. Now here's Beverly. Pass to George. Beverly feeling it out a bit. Just 5 on the clock. Back to George. And stolen by Jordan. Here's Brown. And it's the Clippers with the rebound.
It does not get much easier than that, but somehow he came up empty there.
And he commits the intentional foul. Reggie Jackson's checked in for Patrick Beverly. And here is Los Angeles now. Up top, Morris. Guarded by Harris. And Ibaka kicks to Morris. Shot clock at 6. Back to Ibaka. George with no one around. Hits the three-point bomb. George has got 8.
Talk about execution on the offensive end. They're leaving nothing on the table right now.
Yep, they're starting to stretch this lead out. Too much offense to keep pace with.
2 points. That one goes.
Well, I tell you what, with Harden, sometimes it seems the more the defense bodies him up, the more determined and effective he is in scoring.
Outside, George. At the top of the key, Cousins. Morris against Harris. For the 3. It's hauled in by Claxton. It's Brown on the wing. Guarded by Jackson. And the rejection by Jackson. Over George.
Terrific focus from George there. Reading the shooter the entire way through. A great shot block.
And so it's the Los Angeles. Thank you, David, for that interview. And we'll see you back here after the break for third.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. A pretty close game for the Clippers throughout the first quarter. At one stretch in the opening period. And that's...
And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. Kawhi Leonard really has his fingerprints all over this one.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
And you know what? I'll be interested to see just how much he's got left in the tank. That first half had to take a lot out of it.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. Setting the floor for the Nets. We've got Durant, Griffin is out there with Green. Then there's Irving. And it's Dinwiddie in at the point guard position. Irving drives in. It's good. Irving's got his second bucket of the game to go.
Knifing through the defense like warm butter on a biscuit. Irving knows how to get to the rim.
Well, you can be the judge of if it's fair or not, but Kyrie Irving has earned himself the reputation of being moody, to say the least.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes that sword cuts both ways. Sometimes it's the players, sometimes it's the media, and the media's perception is the combination of the two. Clearly, Kyrie can sometimes go off on tangents and come from left field in interviews. I mean, he's not the only player, present or past, that's been guilty of that. One thing you can't deny, though, is this guy loves the game. And it's a matter of continuing to mature and grow as a leader. So I say give him more time, and he'll refine himself in that area.
And that's an intentional foul. A big group substitution here for Brooklyn. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Griffin. Nicholas Claxton comes in for Green. Joe Harris is checked in for Kevin Durant. And James Harden has subbed in for Dinwiddie. Morris with the bucket.
12 straight points off of three-pointers, and the D looks shell-shocked.
And guys, now that they're rolling from out there, the defense has to really get up into them. You've got to almost be in their jerseys to try to deny those looks.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint.
To the paint, here's Ibaka. That's good, and it's Jackson with the assist that time. Ibaka's got 7.
Well, it's been a great start for this offense here in the second half. 4 for 4.
Harden against George. Harden's shot is good.
And one of the things about Harden is he is incredible at scoring despite getting hit. I mean, astonishing to me how he maintains his focus on these shots.
Tipped away. And now Irving pushing it up. No one back to stop him. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
Everything going to plan here to start the third. 80% shooting thus far.
The Nets shooting their third free throw shot of the game. Clippers leading by 18. He dishes it to George. Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Ibaka, no luck.
You know, defensively, you just can't afford to give him that much room. They're fortunate that he missed that one.
That one drops for him. 11 points in the game.
Hey, the skills of Kyrie are obvious, but what isn't so obvious is his underestimated strength.
Morris outside. And again, no good by the Clippers. The Nets have gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second half. Tremendous efficiency. Out to Harris. Pass to Claxton. The Nets working the ball around now. The shot's good from Jordan.
Irving showing you he's a frame ahead of his opponent with that nice imagination on offense.
Jackson dishes to George. To the middle. Ibaka, the pass to Cousins. Outside for George. And the wide open shot for Morris. They grab their own miss. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
It's really hard to deal with the size Cousins has when he's down there. The defense sometimes has no choice but to commit the foul.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn.
Adjustments are a part of the game, and the coach sees something he doesn't like here.
And you know what? We'll see what changes he makes coming out of this timeout.
And Los Angeles will go for a different look here. Zubac is checked in for Ibaka. Kawhi Leonard comes in for Marcus Morris. Kennard, he's checked in for George. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Reggie Jackson. And the first one at the line is good.
You know, Cousins was part of the U.S. national team that won gold back in 2016. He said it was always a dream to play for his country, and when he got the chance, he didn't waste it.
Nets trail by 16. 1:11 left here in the third quarter. Dinwiddie drives in. Durant. Griffin, no one around him. Unable to get that one. So Los Angeles will take it the other way. Earlier, they held a 23-point lead. And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for the Clippers. Dinwiddie against Beverly. And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for two. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Clippers.
Fantastic passing. We saw it in the first half, and it's carried over here in the second.
You know, they're taking care of business in the paint, too. Those are valuable points they've been getting down low.
And here's Beverly. He brings it up for the Clippers. 17-point game. Pass to Zubac. And here's Kennard. Los Angeles with another miss.
And they had some botched coverage that turned into no coverage.
No good from Luwawu. Clippers leading by 17. Ahead. Takes it out to Leonard. The pass to Beverly. Now Leonard. Back to Beverly. 6 on the shot clock. Took the opportunity when he saw it. Kennard's got 13 points.
In perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
Certainly. I mean, they saw a weakness in the perimeter defense and took advantage of it.
Really well done there. Just confident and composed, never in a hurry.
And so it's the Los Angeles Clippers with an 18-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. And a moment now as we take a look at our State Farm assists of the game.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
Hey, that was a high-level pass no matter what position it came from. But it does make it stand out a little more when it's made by the big fella.
And there may not be a lot of drama down the stretch as we head into the fourth quarter, but stranger things have happened. And on the floor for the Clippers here in the fourth, we've got Ibaka, Patrick Beverly out there with Luke Kennard. Then it's Marcus Morris, and it's man in at the small forward.
You know, really good to see Harris playing with that kind of confidence because, you know, these shots will only help him get better.
Beverly, the pass to Batum. And Kennard wide open. He shoots. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. The shot's good from Irving.
Boy, that's exactly how you punish a team in transition. Kyrie getting out in front and going straight on the attack.
Beverly, the pass to Zubac. Back to Beverly. Zubac kicks to Beverly. Outside Leonard. Pass to Kennard. Bangs home the trifecta. Kennard's got 14 points now in the second half.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
And the jam by Harden.
Now, you can't sleep on this guy's finishing ability. He loves getting room to throw it down on you. And he'll put you in a poster if you let him.
Beverly finds Leonard. Back to Beverly. Clippers moving the ball around. Gets a hand on it. He hangs in there and cashes in on the second chance points. And the Clippers lead by 16.
You know, his positioning near the hoop, always to his advantage. Just a terrific job to tip that one back in.
Here's Harden and the jam by Harden.
Man, it's fun watching Harden use the pick and roll to his advantage, getting space off the screen and letting it fly with ease.
Game moves along. 2 minutes gone here in the fourth. Zubac against Harden. Zubac the pass to Beverly. Back to Zubac. 5 on the clock. Kennard's shot is off.
Not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Irving attacking, and the layup's good off the glass.
You know, his job is really to carry the load offensively, and that's exactly what Irving is doing tonight.
And here's Beverly. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. Right side, Leonard. And good, as it just snugs right down through the net.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
Yeah, I love the fact he doesn't play the score. He just keeps coming, attack mode. He doesn't know how to step off the gas pedal.
And Clark, when you look at the footwork of James Harden, arguably some of the best in the history of this league.
And you know, Greg, he studied the greats. I mean, he loved Ginobili's Euro step and then added it to his own game. Now he's taking that to another level, and he's the one giving out the lessons. But you're right. Got great strength, but the footwork is really outstanding.
Left side, George. Ibaka finds George. That three off the mark. Nets trail by 12. Here's Irving. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Jordan. Irving's got 13 points in the second half.
You know, big guys like Jordan who can facilitate are really valuable. Spots the open man and gets it right to him.
George passes to Beverly. Up top, Ibaka. And here's George for three. Jordan with the rebound. Jordan's got 6 rebounds now in the game. And Harris wide open. He shoots. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
You know, this is where Harris is most dangerous, one of the very best from behind the arc. His eyes light up when he gets these long-distance chances.
And 1:01 left in the fourth quarter. Beverly, the pass to George. Launches it. Good on the triple. And the Clippers lead by 10.
And at this point, just sort of running through the paces as it appears it'll be a nice win here for the Clippers.
Starting five must have been happy to get so much help from the reserves in this game.
And they not only lightened the load, the subs did nothing less than guarantee a win.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for George.
He was everywhere, defensively, offensively. The effort we saw from him tonight, I think, was the difference.
A platoon swap here for Brooklyn.
And you can see where they're coming from by fouling to stop the clock, but really they're just kidding themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this game is over, and they're the only ones who don't realize that. Good composure from the line there. Those shots sealed it. His mid-range shot is very solid. I mean, for some reason, the defense let him have it.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Outside Leonard. Here's the three. Brooklyn with the rebound.
Not enough ticks left on the clock to save them tonight.
Not by a long shot. It's all but official.
Jordan, the pass to Claxton. Here's Irving. And the rejection by Ibaka. Lets a floater go. Can't get it to fall. So it's Los Angeles. All right, David.
You
And it was quite a display as the Trailblazers arrived at the arena. Let's take a look at our starters for Portland. We've got Robert Covington, Damian Lillard out there with Jones. Then there's Yusuf Nurkic, and it's Hollis Jefferson in at the 3. And for the Clippers, Morris is out there with Kawhi Leonard. Then it's Ibaka. Then there's Reggie Jackson. And it's George in at the 2-guard spot. Now here's Jackson. Ibaka finds Leonard. Out to Morris. 6 to shoot. And stolen by Lillard. Here's Hollis Jefferson. Tries again. And the layup is up and in. Hollis Jefferson's got the first points up on the board here for Portland.
But how about the persistence from Hollis Jefferson? He's keeping possessions alive with his activity.
With the teardrop, George, no good.
Great rim protection to prevent him from converting. Beautiful.
And Paul George, Doris, kind of a late bloomer coming up in high school. His older sister used to give him the business on the blacktop. Of course, eventually, he found his stride, and the rest is history.
It took some...
And here we go. Coach's challenge on that goaltending call. And the coach didn't think the call was correct.
And with this type of goaltending review process, one thing to keep in mind is that the rule states, quote, in order to overturn the event as called on the floor, there must be clear and conclusive visual evidence that the call was incorrect.
And so, Greg, if via replay there is any level of ambiguity, it makes sense that the original ruling would stay. But in that event, the coach has used up his one and only coach's challenge for the game. So, as you can tell, a lot riding on when you choose to use it. And so the decision is in. NBA Replay Center has ruled, guys. The call stands on the goaltend.
And maybe the only downside is that you use up your one coach's challenge for the game. So if anything happens beyond this point, you might wish you had that back. Smart not to take any chances and give it another look on the replay. That's such a valuable safety net for the officials to have.
About a minute and a half through the first quarter. And Jones has it in the corner. Outside, Covington. He dishes it to Lillard.
And he can score from all over the court. But Lillard at his best from mid-range. He deserves extra special attention from the defense in that in-between area. But sometimes, even then, that's not enough.
Here's Leonard. The putback controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
Oh, and a nice job of turning that miss into 2 points on the tip in.
Hustle points, I believe they call them. Hustle points right there. Lillard, right side. It's rebounded by Leonard.
All alone from mid-range. They know he won't miss many of those.
You have got to be kidding.
Hey, talk about taking things into your own hands. The Trailblazers have gone 3 of 5 shooting the ball so far. Pass to Jones. Just over 2.5 minutes played here so far in the first quarter. Lillard finds Covington. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Lillard. Greg, I know you've played for some great coaches in your day. What is it that separates the truly elite coaches, in your opinion, from just coaches that are pretty good?
I think the one attribute that's most important for a great coach is consistency. And I've said this, you can coach a lot of different ways, you can win a lot of different ways, but you've got to be sincere and true to your principles and your philosophy. And those are the coaches, and I've had them that have done it different ways, but they've been the most successful. And listen, you've also, at the professional level, you've got to have a presence about you. You got to have some charisma out there as well to get these men to buy in.
Here's Kennard. He gets it in there.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
And I think defensively, that is not the way you want to start. Giving up high percentage looks, that doesn't typically end well.
And it's out of bounds, and they say it was last touched by Leonard.
And he made the right read on that play, but just couldn't secure the steal.
Yeah, the anticipation was there. The hustle was there. Very close to picking that one.
And part of what makes Dame special, he can pour it in working off the ball. Rare to see a point guard who finds points without the rock in their hands.
Leonard inside, working on Collins. Trailblazers leading by 4 to the inside. Rebound, Kawhi Leonard.
And the timing just not there on that attempted alley-oop.
Just a missed connection, and it happens. I'm sure they will go back to it if given the opportunity.
And it's Lillard missing. And now the fast break. George with the ball. And Ibaka slams it in.
And Ibaka can really get up on these lob attempts. Great at finishing strong when he's near the rim.
Stolen by George. And now the Clippers on the break. George with the ball. The shot goes down and gets this game back to even.
And it almost feels like 2 buckets coming off the steal like it did.
Trailblazers have gotten 5 of 10 shots to drop in this game so far. Right at the 50% mark. And George gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. A platoon swap here for the Clippers. And another turnover here by Portland. 29 seconds left to play in the first. Now here's Beverly. And Kennard wide open. He shoots. It's good on the putback.
That is really good work there on the offensive glass.
Portland's gone 2 of 2 from three-point range here in the first quarter. Now Lillard. He has 5. And Damian Lillard with the jam.
Don't let his height fool you. Lillard can rise up with the best of them.
Beverly for 3. And no luck with that time on the buzzer beater. Tie game and some big points being put up on the board. Clark. Greg, we know many guys in the NBA have range, but
when I'm training in the summer,
the team seems to support, Greg, that philosophy 100%.
The game has changed. Some guys would rather take a few steps back to get a cleaner look. Lillard being one of them.
And getting going again here in the second quarter. Fairly close game so far. Guys, what's your take on the Clippers so far?
Yeah, in that first period, they looked to push in transition at every opportunity.
And why wouldn't they? You see their effectiveness in the open floor. Very difficult to slow down.
Luke Kennard out there with Patrick Beverly. Then it's Marcus Morris. Then it's Ivica Zubac. And it's man in at the 3, the small forward. That's who's out there for the Clippers. And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Boy, I love seeing Cantor distribute the basketball. If you're open, this guy will find you.
An intentional foul committed, but for what purpose, Greg, I'm not sure.
A scene of confusion right there. I can't imagine why he thought it was a good idea to foul there.
The Trailblazers making a switch here. Yusuf Nurkic, he's checked in for Cantor. Jones comes in for Collins. Powell, he's checked in for Anthony Simons. And McCollum subbed in for Lillard. Kennard's shot is off. And so it's McCollum with it. He brings it up for Portland. They haven't allowed any points in the second quarter. Powell down low. Covered by Morris. And yes, it's good. Nurkic has got his second basket.
Nurkic doesn't take a lot of bad shots. So when he decides to pull up off the dribble, you know he's feeling it.
Pass to Zubac. Kicks to Beverly. Here's Kennard. Nurkic with the block. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for the Clippers. Jackson comes in for Patrick Beverly. Kennard. Rebound by the Trailblazers.
Boy, with his shot not falling right now, it might be time to look in a different direction. See if you can get your teammates started.
It's deflected. And now the Clippers on the break.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. The solo alley-oop? That's not something we see too often.
Timed perfectly. Caught the defense totally off guard. And McCollum on the floor, all business. Off the court, he's a very outspoken player, very colorful guy. And Greg, you were saying you see a future in media for him when he stops playing.
No doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, McCollum spoke up quickly about the seriousness of the virus when they were playing. He's very knowledgeable and shares what's on his mind. A media position after he's done playing is a very real possibility if he chooses to.
And he can extend the lead to double digits.
and you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
They could use a bucket, and it'll go. And the Blazer lead is cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Kennard. Passes it to Pop. And a wide-open look for McCollum. Sinks the three-pointer. McCollum's got the lead up to 9 now for the Trailblazers.
And you can't give McCollum any space. Always a threat to pull the trigger.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, thank you. We were all witnesses last year to the pandemic, which struck with worldwide repercussions. The NBA was no exception. The 1920 season was altered, and this season was delayed. The league is finding a sense of solidarity and resolve under the leadership of Adam Silver. Now, sports is a microcosm of society as a whole. We all are finding different ways to overcome this. Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, D.A. Catching up on the changes for Portland. Robert Covington's checked in for Anthony. Hollis Jefferson comes in for Norman Powell. And it's Simons in for C.J. McCollum.
And good to see Jackson finish closer in. Not a guard who just chucks up threes. Can find the creases with that handle.
Simons, the pass to Nurkic. To the paint. There's Hollis Jefferson. Covington wide open. He fires. Can't get it to fall, and he's missed the second after making his first. Here's Leonard. The shot by George. Wide open. And again, the Clippers good for 2.
You've got to be prepared on the catch to release quickly, and Paul George does that as well as anyone in the league.
Here's Simons. Nurkic up top. 32 seconds left in the first half of the game. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
And how about this stat? Over the course of Robert Covington's career, over 60% of his shots coming from long range.
And, Greg, the prototypical 3-and-D guy, you almost want to reverse it because defense has been the pivot point for Robert Covington's emergence as a player in this league.
Catching up on the changes for Portland. Cantor comes in for Yusuf Nurkic. And Damian Lillard subbed in for Jones.
Boy, 9 times out of 10, that's going in. I'm sure he surprised himself with the miss.
The pass to Hollis Jefferson. Cantor inside and out of bounds as the Clippers gain possession. The deep 3 from George. And so we wrap up the first half. Portland up. Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, the first quarter for the Trailblazers was fairly even. The period wrapped up with the teams on... And...
And for those of you just tuning in, thanks for being with us. The second half of this game still to play. One guy who's getting it done is Lillard.
And even with the defense shading towards him on every trip down, he still finds a way to come up big.
Well, he knows they're coming for him, but he's accustomed to that kind of attention, and he's quite comfortable dealing with it.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the court for the Trailblazers, they've got Jones. Robert Covington out there with Hollis Jefferson. Then it's Damian Lillard, and it's Nurkic in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here is Lillard. 7 points in the game. The shot's good. Lillard's got 9.
Almost unstoppable on the drive. Lillard's talent for ball handling, letting him just cut through the defense.
George passes to Ibaka. The shot's good on the assist by George. George has got 3 assists now in this one. Portland leading by 5. Pass to Jones. Back to Lillard. Takes a shot at the elbow. The Clippers grab the miss.
Well, that's a blown defensive coverage, but it doesn't matter. He cannot answer the bell.
A nice shot by George. Reggie, we hear this a lot. It's almost too popular now to say good offense beats good defense. Being a defensive-minded player yourself, do you agree with that statement?
Absolutely, Kevin. And the thing is, in today's game, when I played, there was an era, you could hold teams in the 80s and 90s. You could go a quarter and keep them at 12, 15 points. You can't do that now. It's different. You've got to be able to win stretches of 2 and 3 minutes. And honestly, you're right. The offense does dictate far more, but it doesn't discount the importance of defense. And if you still look at the reigning champs and the teams that have won titles recently, that's still one area that they're consistent in is their defensive approach.
And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Nurkic. A different look for the Clippers. Mann's checked in, and it's Kennard in for Paul George. An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Cantor checked in for Nurkic. Carmelo Anthony comes in for Robert Covington. Powell, he's checked in for Derek Jones. And it's C.J. McCollum in for Damian Lillard. Kennard for three. Connects from three-point range. He's got 7.
Everything going to plan here to start the third. 80% shooting thus far.
Beverly against McCollum. 17-foot shot on the way. And we have an intentional foul there, G.A. Wish I could say why.
That one's pretty strange. I mean, no idea what got into his head right there.
Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Los Angeles. And a switch here also for Portland. Zach Collins checked in for Hollis Jefferson. Ibaka wide open. He fires. That doesn't go on the chance to tie. And here's Collins. He'll bring it up for the Portland Trail Blazers.
And what a unique career Serge Ibaka has had. Some incredible totals for him over the course of his career.
That's right, Greg. I mean, I think people would be shocked to know Serge Ibaka was the first player ever to make 500 threes and have 1,500 blocks. Hard to imagine nobody had ever accomplished that feat. Give credit to Ibaka. He changed his offense and added the 3-ball.
Pass to Kennard. Back to Beverly. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Beverly's got his second bucket.
This guy is such an intelligent guard. Patrick Beverly finding a driving lane and finishing.
McCollum with the ball. From deep three-point range. And with the rebound.
And when you are as good a shooter as he is, you have to have the confidence to take that shot. It might not always fall.
And for most guys, I think you only want to take that shot if you've hit a few in a row. That is absolutely a heat check.
And he gets it to go. Now just a 1-point Portland lead.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
It's Powell on the wing. Kennard covering. Powell kicks to Anthony. Shot clock at 6. And finished off by Collins.
And for a player of his size, Melo very adept at working off the pick and roll.
Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Kennard for 3. Collins grabs the miss.
I know he's got to be frustrated right now, but the team is fighting from behind. He's got to stay with it.
Want easy looks? Don't allow the defense to set up.
What a beautiful fast break opportunity, and the finish pretty good.
Kennard for 3. And the last second attempt doesn't fall. And we've reached the end of the third. Trailblazers. And now let's go back to a play from earlier as we show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, an easy choice tonight. Look at the precision on this pass. Put it on a platter for him.
And when you're the beneficiary of a pass that good, you better deliver, and he did just that.
And it's been a very competitive game so far as we get rolling here in quarter number 4. Marcus Morris is out there with Ibaka. Then it's Paul George. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Jackson in at the point guard. So that's the lineup on the floor for the Clippers.
We call that masterful use of the pump fake. Paul George effective getting guys to jump on it.
An almost entirely new group here for Portland. Cantor checked in for Yusuf Nurkic. Anthony comes in for Robert Covington. Norman Powell's checked in for Anthony Simons. And McCollum subbed in for Damian Lillard. Portland moving the ball around. McCollum against Jackson. Out to Anthony. Uncovered. And that one hits back iron. Clippers trail by 3. Outside Leonard. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
Well, Kawhi Leonard might be quiet off the court, but on the court he makes a lot of noise.
Now here's McCollum. Fires from deep. Rebounded by Serge Ibaka. To take the lead. Got a piece of it. Cantor, the pass to Jones. Back to Cantor. The feed to Jones. The tray. The rebound by Ibaka. The Clippers shooting the ball at 42%. It's stolen by Jones. Back to Anthony. And that comes off the assist by Jones. And the Trailblazers lead by 3.
Well, if you let Melo get his feet set, turn the lights off.
And here's George for 3. Portland grabs the miss. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Now McCollum passes it to Cantor. And the foul is called. He intentionally grabbed him there for some reason. I don't know.
Kevin, all I can think of is that he's trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Right.
That's a stretch, though. Definitely a strange move on his part.
And the Trailblazers making a change here. Nurkic checked in for Enes Kanter. Robert Covington comes in for Carmelo Anthony. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, he's checked in for Derek Jones. And Damian Lillard subbed in for Powell. Trailblazers leading by 3. Nurkic finds Hollis-Jefferson. And it's Hollis-Jefferson with the jam.
How about the aggressiveness of Rondae Hollis-Jefferson? Go to work, young man.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
Leonard. There's Jackson with the 3. It's hauled in by the Trailblazers. Nurkic has got 5 rebounds tonight. Moving it up. Kicks it out to Lillard. Plenty of room to knock down the shot.
And we talk about court awareness. There, McCollum doing a beautiful job spotting the open man.
Here's George, and George with the stuff.
Oh, and this is some serious showmanship. Loving that tomahawk right there.
Greg, he came with force, and that's not just about getting 2 points. That was sending, I think, a message. Lillard against George. Shoots from 12. Again, the Trailblazers good for 2.
No excuse giving Lillard that kind of positioning. That's just too easy.
Outside, George plays it up and banks it in.
Well, as soon as you recognize the size mismatch, you have to attack.
1:37 left in the 4th quarter. Hollis-Jefferson passes to Nurkic. Back to Hollis-Jefferson. Lillard from outside. The offensive rebound. Nurkic. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here.
You know, it took Nurkic a while to kind of establish himself as a starting center in the NBA, but it didn't take long to see it's a role he deserves.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Zubac is checked in for Ibaka. DeMarcus Cousins comes in for Morris, and it's Patrick Beverley in for Reggie Jackson. Jones checked in for the Trailblazers. And here's Lillard, who brings it up for the Trailblazers. They've given up just 8 points in the 4th quarter. There's 57 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. Lillard's got the lead up to 10 now for Portland. And George, here we go. Chalk up 2 there.
Well, Paul George routinely making these difficult shots look easy. He's showing how dominant he truly is.
George against Lillard. Dishes it to Nurkic. Back to Lillard. Releases. And Portland again with the bucket.
And once they smelled blood in the water, you could see the killer instinct take over.
And you want to save your best for last. Tonight, they've done that and then some.
And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
See, I don't think you can teach that. Paul George going right into contact. You love that aggressiveness.
And George drops them both. And Portland has possession. And they can just let the clock run out here.
Cannot argue with the W.
Lillard against George.
That's his second personal foul. Shooting for Portland.
So the first one drops, and that will put them up by 9.
Wearing the number 0 for a reason. Damian Lillard has it on his back for his city, Oakland. Just the latest star from the town.
And so Portland takes this one, but by a big margin.